Hello, today is day 25 of our 40 days challenge, and I would like to speak to you about something. You know those days when you you have everything planned, but right in the beginning things start to go wrong. You know those moments when you have everything arranged, everything you think that your plans are perfect, everything is going to be all right, everything is going to be great, but then everything starts to go wrong. I have gone through loads of moments like that. And you know, in these moments are the moments where you show who you really are. You show where you are before God, your position, who you know, when when people say things and you think that is so unfair. We have been speaking a lot about this lately, right? And you know those moments when you just think like this, ah, no, this is too much. And then you take that attitude that is so unlikely. You do things that you would not normally do. You lose control. You lose control of your life. Is that those moments that is just 1 second, is like this. Perhaps is talking to your husband, your boyfriend, or your family member, or your girlfriend, when you are having that discussion and you just lose it and you speak words that later on you regret. And you know, when you speak a word, there is no taking it back. There is no way that you can take that word back. My husband was speaking about this in the service last night, and he spoke about this on Friday as well. How people can lose control in a blink of an eye. A blink of an eye, something happens and it triggers something inside of you. It's like that nerve in you that it touches that nerve, and then you close your eyes and you act without thinking. How many people we have seen doing things like that, and today they are in jail because in a moment that they were not watching, in a moment that they were so angry and they did not pay attention, the devil used that moment for them to make a mess out of their lives and to destroy their families, other people's families, and today they are in prison maybe, or some are even dead. They lost their lives only because a split moment, just a second, when you lose control. You know, one of the fruits of the Holy Spirit is self-control. And I remember that when I before I converted, and even when I converted, I I was like that. I was uh, very short tempered. I had a short temper. My dad is like that, so I think I I got this from him. I don't know, but I would always, when I would do certain things, or when I would speak to someone that got to my nerve, and then it would usually happen every day, all the time. Every day, all the time, someone would, if you would step on my toes, I wouldn't hold it. And it was hard for me. And for you who has this in you, who is always losing control, it's very hard. But the one thing that usually we don't understand, the person who is like that doesn't understand, is that, all depends on her. It's not about praying. I used to pray a lot, asking God to give me self control because I was so aware of that uh, bad thing about myself. I was so aware of that I would be praying all the time, God, give me self control. God, give me self control. But there is one thing that depends a lot on you. And prayer is not going to change if you don't act. Prayer is not going to change if you don't act. I repeat. There are things that you can pray, but there are others that you have to act. And these kind of things, the exercise of self-control is something that you can develop a self-control. You can work on it. Of course, when you receive the Holy Spirit, what is it the Holy Spirit does? Does he hold you? In the moments that it comes that moment, does the Holy Spirit put the hands on your mouth and you don't speak? Is that how the Holy Spirit does? Because people say like this, oh no, but I thought that when the Holy Spirit would come, it would be automatically. I wouldn't do these things anymore. And how would the Holy Spirit do that? How would the Holy Spirit hold you back for you not to go and fight with someone who's provoking you? How would the Holy Spirit put the hands on your mouth? He can't. He's a spirit. The Holy Spirit is a spirit. He does. He does. He brings you an important tool for you to use. But you and me, we need to use this tool. It's not like magic. It's not magic. Some of you need to take this idea that the Holy Spirit is about magic. The Holy Spirit is about here. We spoke about this yesterday. It's all about your mind. You know, he speaks to you here. Don't do this. Don't say like that. Hold yourself right now. But you decide to do or not to do. You decide to listen or not. You decide to, practice what the Holy Spirit is alerting you to do or not. So it's not about magic. And each and every one of us, we need to keep on exercising our faith. It's in those moments that faith comes in. My husband was talking yesterday, and I remember we were going to Birmingham, and he stopped there was traffic, right? And the car in front was stopped. And of course, when you are paying attention and there is a street right here, you usually give the space for the other car to pass. But imagine that my husband was, we were traveling, he was not really paying attention. So he went in front of the car of the guy who wanted from the other side to go into the street. And I was shocked because the guy put down his window and started so many swearing words, so many abusive words, like horrible things. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Why? You see how the devil creates the situations. And then the attitude of my husband was look at him and didn't do anything. I know Junior since we were very young, we were dating. And I know that this was the work of the Holy Spirit. Did the Holy Spirit hold him back? No, he later on told us that his desire, the desire of his flesh was to open the door of the car and go there and fight the man. How dare you, in front of my wife, to be speaking these words? How dare you? He wanted to go and fight. It was his flesh. But the Holy Spirit was in him. And it was not holding him back. The Holy Spirit was alerting him. And the alert, yes, don't do anything. Don't do anything. But how many, at a moment like that, when you don't have the Holy Spirit, you go there and you open the door of the car and you fight the guy, and maybe the guy would have a gun or a knife and they would fight. One or the other would die. And how is this? How would that be? How, the lives destroyed? The life of the guy, the life of my husband. How many times you have seen the devil destroy families, destroy people's lives like this because of one moment of madness, one moment that people allow themselves to do whatever their flesh wants to do. Because people in the world are like this. They live doing their fleshly desires. Whatever the flesh wants, they do it. Whatever they desire, whatever they feeling, the anger, whatever the feeling of the moment they are having, they go and act towards it. But the Holy Spirit, He alerts, He tells you, and it depends on you, it depends on me to do it or not. And you need to look, we all need to be looking at our lives to see the fruits, of the Holy Spirit, to exercise the fruits of the Holy Spirit, to pay attention. You have to be in spirit, you have to be praying, you have to be, of course, I'm not saying that you are going to be praying 24/7 because impossible. You need to live, you need to work. When you are working, your mind is something else, but you can be in the spirit. You can be with your mind always at these moments. At these moments, you can be praying, you can be talking to God, and maybe the situations in your life are not as this one that I said. Maybe the situations are in your workplace when you need to speak to people, with your husband, with your family, your children. You are always losing control of your life, and you know there is no beauty in it. People who are from outside, they don't see beauty in a woman who loses control. And imagine God if He would see beauty in this. So self-control, it's a fruit of the Holy Spirit that makes you beautiful in God's eyes and in people's eyes. And when I understood that, I started practicing. I started, my God, when I see, when dangerous situations approach, and I know when they approach because the Holy Spirit alert me of that. When they come, I'm already getting ready to watch my reactions. But if I'm not prepared, if I'm not in spirit, if I'm just, not caring for my spiritual life, I will react in the flesh and not in the spirit. Here comes a question for you today. How have you been reacting? In spirit or in flesh? Does it mean that you are not going to rebuke people, that you're not, sometimes you have a position of responsibility, you have to rebuke. It's not a rebuke that I'm talking about. I'm talking about of losing control. When you lose control and you speak whatever comes out of your mouth without thinking, or you react without thinking, this is losing control. Don't get don't misunderstand me. And now you think that because you are, you have the Holy Spirit, you are a Christian, you cannot speak strongly to anyone, you cannot rebuke someone. It's not the same. It's not the same. I need you to understand that. But the question is, how many times have you been losing control? It shows that you have not been in spirit lately. And it's something that you need to watch if you want to be beautiful in God's eyes. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.